and my bigoted diatribe. Old friend of mine, Laurelai Bailey, a name that may sound familiar because they are like a canker sore that will never go away. Laurelai, I has been involved in like everything, like all the Chan stuff. Laurelai has been involved in, and they recently just got outed as being a years-long like power mod for the R ContraPoints Reddit, and was immediately forced out. Let me tell you a story about Laurelai. Let me pull up a picture actually. I don't know if the ones in the OP are safe for work, so I'm just gonna pull one out at random. Here we go. Laurelai was recently a thing I talked about. I think because of this actually. I mentioned that Shinigami Eyes, where if you install it as a browser extension, you'll see red links for any Twitter user or YouTube channel or website that is like associated with transphobia. So if you see like a Kiwi Farms link, it'll be bright red. If you see a link to like they had a bunch like, okay, if you're on Twitter and you see J.K. Rowling, the link would be red, and that's like your protection to make sure you don't see something transphobic and be really triggered. And there was a rumor that Laurelai was a developer for Shinigami Eyes, so people had to come out and say that no, they're not involved because the actual developer is anonymous. But this caused Kanini, the bunny developer tranny from Paleroma, that I also talked about a long time ago for being a developer on the thing we use for KiwiFarms.cc, who had a huge spat with us. They came out and said that Laurelai had nothing to do with the project, and they were involved with it. So this is Laurelai, and Laurelai is a weirdo. I think that my first exposure to Laurelai was that they had this thread on the forum is ancient. This thread on the forum is like from 2016, I want to say. And when it was new, a person DM'd me, and they said, "Hi, I'm trans, and Laurelai raped me." I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And they sent me a link to their portfolio website, which at the time was just Laurelai.info. And then it had like a secret directory, like Laurelai.info. And I've checked, this is like gone now, but it's Laurelai.info / like fun / sexy stuff or whatever. And then it had like all their nudes, to which I've archived on the forum. And it had a video which I did not archive to the forum, which was Laurelai, some other, it looked like a dude, but it could just be an even worse passing. And then it had the person who DM'd me, and the person who DM'd me was getting fucked in the ass, and then Laurelai was kind of like a third wheel bouncing around. Now, the person getting fucked was like obviously super drunk, and if they had anything to drink, they didn't show it at all. And Laurelai was just kind of bouncing around and like grabbing ass and trying to play with ding-dongs and stuff, and was basically a non-participant in their own sex video. But the story was that they said Laurelai inherited his grandmother's house, and they had extra rooms. So if a trans person went on the internet and said, "I'm homeless now because I'm whatever, I'm trans, I'm disabled, I'm autistic," then Laurelai would hit them up and be like, "I have spare rooms if you want to come over." And then Laurelai would get them drunk and fuck them and record it. And they told me this story, and I watched the video, and I concluded that they're probably right. So I told people this, and it has essentially gotten them super mega canceled for being a rapist. Even because, like, okay, the story is you're a person and then you rape someone and then you tune out to get rid of it. Well, if you rape again, and if you rape a tranny especially, well, you've committed the ultimate sin. The only unforgivable sin in the trans community is to fuck with other trannies, right? The other people who it's like if you go into, if like you're a snitch, and then you go to protective custody, and then you like fuck with another snitch. Well, then they're like, well, we can't. If you're like hurting snitches in the snitch room, we can't hold you with the other snitches. You got to go back to general population. And then you're in Gen Pop and you're a snitch, and they won't take you out. That's basically what happened to Laurelai. That's what's happened. So, they were ousted as being a power mod under a different name for ContraPoints, and they've subsequently deleted everything again.